Hey everyone, Kevin here, and welcome back to my channel. So, have you noticed that there aren't many male teachers left these days? And as a former male teacher myself, I witnessed and continue to from the outside of education why men aren't becoming teachers anymore. And don't get me wrong, education has always been a more female dominated profession, but the numbers of men are steadily decreasing by the year, and those that remain are often history teachers like I was, or some form of coach or PE teacher. In 2024 alone, only 23% of public school teachers were men, and they only comprised 3% of kindergarten and TK teachers. Men are grossly underrepresented in the teaching profession, but no one seems to really care about why that is, which is what I really wanted to talk about today. And I'm going to address the elephant reason in the room first before all the other ones: the societal belief that men are pedophiles or groom students. There's also a guilty until proven innocent perspective strongly held by people toward men, too, even when we're actually innocent. Male teachers live in real fear of these accusations, and they are incredibly damaging to both our mental health and reputations. We ask ourselves almost every day, what if I piss off the wrong kid? What if some student records me with their cell phone completely out of context? Should I give that student a one arm hug because a full hug might make people think I want to do more than that? Do I need a female teacher present in the room during every meeting or consultation just to prove I have no ill intentions? And all while female teachers are actually more likely to be committing such crimes. Yet, women often get accused of being weird or creepy, but somehow it's not taken as seriously, nor is it weaponized against them as it is with men. And back in 2017, I actually did a massive research paper to obtain my master's degree on the number of false allegations levied against male teachers, prompted by my own experiences with them, where I was also accused multiple times by female students who were trying to get back at me for some random slight or because I gave them a bad grade. I was even placed on leave for 3 weeks for one of those allegations, which turned up zero evidence whatsoever to prove them were correct, since nothing ever happened in the first place. Kids have figured out that they can do this and face no repercussions, and this was even brought up in collegiate studies back in 2009 that I cited in my own research, and you can see how much worse it's gotten since. And I'm not alone. Ask any male teacher out there, even ones that you personally know, and pretty much every single one will tell you that they've been accused of something at some point during their careers, especially early on when they were younger and closer in age to the kids they were teaching, thus ensuring they were more likely to quit the profession early, too. And heaven forbid trying to come back from these accusations. Returning to the classroom after them, even when they're proven false, will still isolate men and make other students and fellow staff members think that that man is a pedophile. Often, they end up shunned and unsupported and choose instead to not become or remain teachers as a result. I was stabbed in the back by other teachers as well, and yes, female ones in particular. And in the last couple of months, I felt utterly alone among my staff for the way I was treated and excluded by them. Which actually leads to my second point as to why men aren't choosing the profession. There's no support for men, because we're stereotypically seen as tough, strong role models for male students to look up to, and we're looked down on for showing our feelings. As a result, male teachers often end up with some of the worst mental health issues in a profession, already overflowing with them because they have no one to talk to. Plus, with it being a female dominated profession, men have to fit in rather than be accommodated in the job. Men are told, and yes, so was I, by two different male administrators and teachers, that I had to watch what I said and how I acted because I wouldn't be supported in the way women support one another. There's no support group for men in education, and you won't believe how many men I've had coffee chats with who are trying to flee teaching and feel like they have no one to discuss that with or to talk to. Women even tell me that it's so rare to see a man, especially a male teacher, so freely sharing his feelings these days. And that is not okay. Heck, when I first started going to group therapy before I left the classroom, I was the only male teacher in the group for quite some time, since we were conditioned by society to not talk about our emotions, which unfortunately is still being reinforced by the lack of good male role models for boys these days. Oh, yeah, and that should be mentioned too. The public school system is often hostile to boys and favors traditionally female traits. And yes, I just said it. Boys are often overmedicated and misdiagnosed for ADHD at younger ages, where fewer male teachers exist too, and as a result, they're often given medication instead of more practical things to work off their hyperactivity or energy. Just look at the TV show Last Man Standing, for instance, where a school tried to diagnose the child Boyd with ADHD and prescribe medication. The women in the room said that he was running around all the time, was rebellious, and wished he had more female traits instead, so the medication might actually help him. While all the men in the room knew he literally had zero outlet to play or do anything at his school, he was incredibly bored, not needing ADHD medication. In the end, they built him a hockey rink in the backyard to play on to work off his energy, and he instantly started behaving better in class. The same goes for male teachers, too, who are expected to conform to a certain notion of what men should do and act like instead of being who they actually are. And realistically, there's also the issue that education is often a low paying job seen as professional babysitting rather than a career someone could grow and move up in. As I've said before, teaching is a dead end job now, and people are incredibly aware of it. Men are still seen as providers and are shamed for not making enough money to live on or support their families with, even when that's a really sexist viewpoint these days. And as it's already been well established, teachers don't get paid a livable wage anymore in the first place, so that increases the mental health demands that men are already placed under now. Men generally don't really want to be babysitters and frequently have lower tolerances of putting up with misbehavior and crap from kids too. We don't necessarily want to be some paternal figure in class like we're expected to either. Rather, we just want to teach what we enjoy and form connections with kids when we can. Yet, male teachers are often given the worst performing kids, particularly the male ones, because we're seen as being able to sort it out even when that's not what we signed up to do. I don't care if he's a male student and I'm a man too. Maybe I have absolutely nothing in common with this kid, and he's just a spiteful bully who shouldn't be there in the first place. It is a really dumb and sexist mindset. And when combining all this together, why is anyone surprised that education is becoming more and more female dominated by the day? Men looking at a profession that has nothing but stress, suffers from terribly low pay, has no room for growth, isn't built to accommodate their feelings, and is filled with people who see them as nothing but walking pedophile time bombs waiting to happen and say, you know what, I'm going to do something else. And that's just what we've done. But that's all for now. Thanks for listening, and I hope that one day we're able to make school a more attractive place for all teachers, not just the female ones. Yet all I see is the profession continuing to merrily drive in the wrong direction. Anyway, though, if you could take a moment to subscribe and click the bell button, that would be greatly appreciated, and feel free to leave a comment below to share your experiences and beliefs too. As always, I've been Kevin, and I'll see you in the next video.